Have you ever gone to take a ballet class and then you see that there are dancers in the studio before your class starts and they have all these weird things with them, all these weird foam objects? What are they doing with them? Well, welcome to Bunheads Before the Bar. I'll give you the inside scoop on what they're doing. They're actually just warming up before warming up. So let me introduce you to the foam roller. This is probably the one you see the most. If dancers dance a lot and have very tight muscles, they might feel like they need to massage their muscles and their fascia and all of that stuff before they can even move for the bar. This is also good for breaking up lactic acid, something else that may make you feel very tight. It's a little awkward. It's hard to target these muscles. A lot of the time dancers will focus on the T-band. That is definitely a torturous activity. My T-bands aren't even that tight, and this is still pretty painful for me. The T-band runs along the side of your thigh from your hip to your knee, and it is very hard to stretch. So because you don't really get to stretch it, it tends to get very, very tight, and it is pretty painful to roll this out on the foam roller. But tight T-bands can cause knee pain, so this is a necessary evil. You can also use the foam roller to try to massage your calf muscles. I personally find that the foam roller is just a little too broad. It's a little too superficial. It doesn't really target like the deep, sore calf muscles. I think it's a little hard to target my tight calves. So if you need something that can go a little deeper or be a little more precise, I recommend a lacrosse ball. Lacrosse ball is like one of my favorite things to use on sore muscles. Lacrosse balls are very hard. They don't have any give at all. It's almost like massaging your calf with a rock. You can also release sore, tight ankles if you roll a little lower. This can also loosen up a tight Achilles tendon. If you find that it is too intense or too hard, you can use a tennis ball. Tennis ball is a little more squishy. And, you just kind of roll along different parts of your leg. You can target your outer calf muscles, the inner side of your calf. Figure out like what feels good on you. Similarly, I use the foam roller to kind of do the same thing for my back. Just rolling along my back seems to loosen it up. I hear little crackling sounds when I do this. I'm not sure if it's fascia, but whatever it is that's happening, it feels good and I feel a little looser after doing this. Most of my ballet classes are in the morning, and I notice that I am tighter and stiffer in the mornings, so I might not necessarily need to do all of this stuff in the evening once I've already been moving, but in the morning, definitely. Another little trick I learned with the foam roller is you can use it for core stabilization. Some dancers will work a lot on their core, so you can place the foam roller under your spine, and then you kind of have to balance on it while reaching your opposite hand to knee, and you're going to feel like you're wobbling and struggling to stay on the foam roller, so you have to try not to fall over while you're moving your limbs. Some dancers focus exclusively on core stabilization before class so they feel more stable and balanced. I am definitely not one of those dancers. I'm very lazy with core work, although I really should work on my core because I'm so loose and noodly. Planks are a popular total body core stabilization strengthening thing, but nobody actually likes them. Sometimes you will see dancers trying to do extreme stretches before class, like over splits or something like that. They'll sit in these extreme stretches for a long time, and I need to tell you that you really should not do this before a ballet class. You should not sit in stretches until you are thoroughly warmed up, and if you want more details about that, I explain it in another video about tips for stretching for beginners, everything you need to know about how to stretch properly. Other than that, there's no big hidden secret. It's just dancers doing their own personal routines for their own bodies and their unique needs. So, for example, I really don't spend that much time on the floor, but if I have a moment before the bar starts, I give myself a mini bar warm-up, which I can show you. This is what I like to do before every bar. It just helps wake up the little muscles in my body. I focus on warming up my feet and my ankles with demi-pointe and pointe because I have stiff feet, stiff ankles. I roll through the feet. I kind of just take inventory, assess the damage. I stretch the top of my instep by crossing one ankle over the other. Pressing the back knee into the front calf stretches the top of the foot. And I stretch my calves, my Achilles. I have very stiff, injured, scar tissue-y, post-surgical ankles. They need a little TLC before I start the day. And then I stretch my back, I arch and curve, hanging on the bar. These are just the parts of my body that tend to feel stiff first thing in the morning. You may need something different. I will pull from the bar to really stretch these side muscles. Notice how I'm not really hanging or sitting in an extreme stretch for a long time. I try to keep the stretches moving. It's better to move, constantly move if you're still cold and not thoroughly warmed up. I'll pull from the bar to stretch my entire back and shoulders. So kind of open up the chest, but again, I'm not sitting in a stretch for too long because I'm not really warm enough yet. If I were to sit in an extreme stretch without being thoroughly warmed up, I may damage my ligaments instead of stretching the muscles. And here you want to be stretching your muscles, not putting a strain on your ligaments. So here I'm stretching my rotators and my upper back, but again, I keep it moving. I bring the leg down. I'll do a smooth, quick moving port-de-bras front and back. I will keep my feet parallel for this. It stretches different muscles than if we were turned out. I do the same thing on the other side, passe, turn it in, put it on the bar, stretch, twist your upper body away from the leg. This stretches your butt, your rotators, your upper back, a little bit of everything. Same thing, port-de-bras forward and backwards. Anytime you do a port-de-bras back, keep your head to the side. It's easier on the neck. Then I do a little port-de-bras side to side. Again, this is my own personal routine. These are the parts of my body that need tending to in the morning when I'm tight and stiff. I do a big circle port-de-bras. My back is usually stiff in the mornings. My legs not as much, so this is what I focus on before the bar starts in ballet class. And then I finish with a final plie, roll up, and balance. This kind of helps me assess if I can even balance today. This first balance is what kind of wakes me up and gets me in the zone and kind of lets my body know, like, hey, we're doing ballet today. So now I'm ready for the bar. Sometimes I'll do the heel grab stretch just to pop my hips, but again, I'm not trying to hold this as an extreme stretch. It's not recommended to do extreme stretches before you're warmed up. So if you decide you want to be a bunhead before the bar and make a routine for yourself, just remember to be respectful to the studio, keep yourself contained and out of the way, try not to disrupt other dancers who are also focusing on warming up, clean up after yourself, and take care of any gear you used, and take care of your body, and happy dancing.